Guajira, Guantanamera, Guantanamera.
This video is about the land, the history, the language, and the culture of the Republic of Cuba, República de Cuba. At the end of this video, there will be some suggestions on how to be culturally responsive for ELL students in the classroom and schools to make their education more meaningful and equitable. The Cuban national anthem is La Bayamesa, the Bayamo song. Cuba is located 90 miles off the coast of Key West, Florida, and 13 miles from the Bahamas. It is the largest Caribbean island nation. It spans 44,200 miles, which makes it a bit smaller than the state of Pennsylvania. There are 15 provinces in Cuba and one special municipality, Isla de la Juventud. Cuba is often called El Cocodrilo, which means the crocodile, because of the shape of the island. Cuba is an island brimming with vibrant art, soul-stirring music, and villages cloaked in colonial charm. Its geography varies from rolling farmland, rugged mountains, urban metropolises, quaint colonial villages, and beautiful white sand beaches. Havana is the capital and is preserved by forts and citadels. Cuba blends the tradition of Spain, Africa, and its native people. There are approximately 11.2 million people on the island. Despite its native roots, the most profound effects on Cuban culture are the results of European, African, and North American influences. The fertile land was claimed by Christopher Columbus in 1492. He claimed the land for Spain, where the official language is Spanish. The official language of Cuba is Spanish, Castilian Spanish, or also called Cubano, and is the first language of about 90% of the entire population. Due to Cuba's warm climate, the agriculture is plentiful. Cuba has sugar plantations and makes some of the world's finest rums. There are also tobacco farms, two of the most popular being Viñales and Pinar del Rio. Both of these tobacco farms produce the finest tobacco on the island and use to make world-class cigars. Cuba is also known for producing coffee. Cuban coffee is called a Cubano, and it is sweet, dark, and very strong. Cuba is a totalitarian communist state. In 1959, Fidel Castro assumed military and political power as Cuba's prime minister. He exercised control over virtually all aspects of Cuban life through the Communist Party. He exploited the Cold War and for decades was able to rely on strong Soviet backing, which included annual subsidies worth $4 to $5 billion. With that, he was able to build a reputable health and education systems. In 1962, the government of Fidel Castro seized and shut down more than 400 Catholic schools, banned religious celebrations, and jailed and expelled Catholic priests. It became an atheist state for most of the Castro era. In 1991, the Communist Party lifted its prohibition against religious believers seeking membership, and a year later, the Constitution was amended to characterize the state as secular instead of atheist. In April 2018, Miguel Diaz-Canel became president in a handover ending 6 decades of rule by the Castro family. He succeeded Fidel's brother Raúl, who remains the head of Cuba's all-powerful Communist Party. The education system in Cuba is free from kindergarten to college. Cuba has a literacy rate of 99%. In the mornings, the students sing, and they also recite their favorite poems. Healthcare is also top-notch in Cuba and is free and is also based on prevention medicine. Despite the hardships with their government, Cubans are very happy and friendly people. Music and dance is a big part of their culture. They are unique in that they combine a strong work ethic with the ability to enjoy themselves like other Latins. You can hear it on every street corner, and it is very lively. There's salsa, cha-cha, mambo, rumba, and bolero. As in most Latin American countries, the family is the center of most Cubans' lives. Family ties are strong, and much time is spent with loved ones. They respect their elders and see them as pillars in the community. It is customary for Cubans to kiss each other on the cheek when they greet one another. Unless it is someone they do not know very well, they just give a polite handshake. Cubans are very rich in their nonverbal language. They focus more on gestures and facial expressions. Another key gesture important in Cuban culture is eye contact. They also tend to be very direct and clear about what they need, want, and what they are talking about. Besides music, dance, and art, domino is very popular in Cuba as well as baseball. Here are some recommendations for being culturally responsive for ELLs. First, know the background of the students and family. Encourage use of their home language since it helps with their language acquisition. Include the culture of the students in your instruction. ELLs can add different perspectives to topics based on their background knowledge. Allow students to speak in their home language, their L1, if and when needed. Provide instruction where students collaborate in groups or pairs. Include families and communities in their students' education, but be mindful that their culture may have different values and expectations.